Morning. Hi. Hi, Amy. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy hump day. Yep. It's time to get it started, guys. Hey, Art of Sugar. Hi. So, I get questions about those dreaded bulges in your cakes. And buenos dias. And what else? And using fruit in your cakes. So I thought I'd show you. Nothing I'm going to show you has not already been shown on my YouTube channel. So I tried your quilting and it was okay. Not as beautiful as yours. Practice, practice, practice. She loved the cake, Tisha. Yes, fruit. Hi, Crumble & Co. Okay, so let's just get started. I have my cakes here. We got a bit of a crust going on, so I have to take that off. But they're 8-inch rounds, and I did freeze these 10 minutes out of the oven, and I froze them in the pans so they can keep their shape. So I'm just running my offset around the edge so I can get it out of the pan. And then I bake with parchment. Typically, yes, Miss Williams, I do always freeze. So I'm just going to cut this edge off. I'm using my turntable and a long serrated knife. And I'm just going to trim the top edge of the cake. I'm going to use my turntable and keeping my knife steady to get, be careful, this knife is sharp, to get that top crust. I love these knives. If you have an Agve knife, my husband got it for me for Christmas, what, 4 years ago? I think he got it at a place called Surface here in Los Angeles. But it's still so sharp. Like, seriously, it has cut me a few times, but I've gotten smarter. Okay, so now I'm going to You're so pressed to see this? Oh, good. This is where it starts. I always say, this board, I got this board from Tap Plastics, but you can get them from cakesafe.com. White HPDE prep boards. I always say that a great cake starts at this stage. Well, it starts with making a good cake, and then it starts here. If you don't get this part right, you're looking into problems later. Now this is 2-inch pans. Okay. I don't know what cake pans these are. Magic Line. Magic Line. Okay, so I'm gonna find where half of my cake is. This is called torting. Torting means to cut the layers in equal parts. Sometimes if you have like a 3-inch tall cake, which I don't like to bake in, you can cut it in 3 sections, but I'm just going to cut this 2-inch in half. So find half, keeping my knife steady and just using my turntable, I'm going around. I know, I love this turntable, it's a professional. That wilting crap, I don't know what the best frosting is to use. And then I'm going to add more buttercream to the top. And I'm going to cover all of that up. I do have a YouTube channel, Sift by Kara. So I am covering up all of that fruit. No, I only use my freezer just to help my process along, but no, it won't be like in the freezer, so to speak. But I will use it to sort of chill my buttercream. Okay, so that's one layer. So if you'll see, the pieces of fruit are kind of embedded now into that buttercream. And I do it that way because I like the stability of my buttercream. Keeps my cakes together. So now I put the second layer on. I'm going to give it a press. No, I don't use simple syrups. I think freezing my cakes sort of keep the cakes moist, I guess. Oh, thank you. So this is where you want to make sure that your layers are lined up. Again, it all starts in this step. Thank you, Shruti. How long can this cake? I would say no longer than, what, 4 days? This cake is due on Friday, and I have decorating to do, so you gotta get it done today. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing, a thin layer. This is an 8-inch cake. I do make cupcakes if you want cupcakes. Not my favorite thing to do, but I will make some, decorate some for you if you choose to order those. The cake is 8-inch and my board is 8.5-inch. So adding more, you guys are talking a lot today, so I'm trying to work and watch, covering up all of that fruit. So by the time I get done stacking all 4 layers of cake with 3 layers of filling, my cake should be about 5 inches tall. Thank you. Flipping over my next layer. And again, I'm going around and I'm lining up the sides. This is where perfection starts. I'm giving it a good press down because I want to eliminate any air pockets. Okay, last layer of filling. I'm going to, okay, if I were to store this cake, because I'm not going to get to it until much later, I would put it in my refrigerator. But since I want to keep moving and ice this cake using my acrylic method, I am going to put this cake in my freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm only using my freezer because I'm trying to speed up my process time. Okay, but normally no, I wouldn't, if I had more time, I had other things to do, and I wouldn't be able to get back to this until a couple hours later, I would put it in my refrigerator. Because I just need the buttercream to firm up. Okay, it's a good layer of strawberries. It's going to be a tasty cake. All right, so last bit. And covering all that fruit up. And also the sugar in the buttercream is going to help keep that fresh fruit last a little bit longer than normal. That's why I cut it up so tiny and I really smash it into the buttercream. I'm sure she is doing, Barbara is still selling them. I think so. I have an alliance with Cake Safe, so you are free to purchase them anywhere you want. But if you ask me, I will tell you Cake Safe. Okay, so I'm just giving it a good press down and going around making sure all my sides are lined up. Make sure you take these off. Nobody wants to nice and tall. So now I'm going to cover the sides. I'll come around here. I like to work over. So now this is called the crumb coat. And what I'm doing is I'm putting a thin layer of buttercream. And I'm using a separate bowl because I don't want crumbs in my fresh buttercream here. I don't know what you mean by letting the fresh strawberries sit. I mean, they probably were sitting after I cut them for about 20 minutes before I got started. So if that's what you mean by sitting, then yes. They sit for about 20 minutes. So this crumb coat is thin. I am just want to get a thin layer of buttercream all the way around, sealing in. And I'm really pressing firmly into my cake because I really want to push buttercream into any nook and cranny of my cake, any open space. I want to feel it in with buttercream. So a really good layer. I'm trying to work so you guys can see. All the way down to the board. And pushing firmly onto my cake to get buttercream in there. Going over my side, keeping my hand level. I'll spin my cake to try to get as even and as level as I can. Get my bench scraper. So using my bench scraper, I'm gonna sit it on this ledge, this exposed ledge of my board, and run it around, cleaning up. Yes, I do have a non-skid mat underneath this cake. And cleaning up the edge a little. And now I am going to put this in my freezer for about 20 minutes, just because I want all that buttercream to firm up and keep the cake together, because I am going to come back and do my upside down acrylic method. I mean, I'm not going to show you guys that. And that's it. How do you prevent cake from tilting in the end? Oh, what do you mean, tilting? After cutting my strawberries, I put sugar on them. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. How do you stop it from being lopsided? Well, I just showed you. You can replay this. I just showed you how I stacked it. So if you start it lopsided, then that's where it's going to go south. If you start it straight up and down, making sure you push out air in between your layers, you should end up with a pretty good cake without any bulges. Okay, let me go put this in my freezer and I'll come back and answer questions. Okay, so what questions can I answer for you guys? I think it was from the buddy. Okay. Are you a baker just baking at home? Yes, I am a cake decorator and I work from home. A lot of times I do use acrylic this on both sides, and then sometimes I don't. I'm fine, Millie. How are you? Okay, so you guys had a lot of questions going on. Got a mess here. What questions can I answer? No, I've been baking for 5 years. Do you prefer to put the center dowel first on the board or wait till all the stacks are done? I typically stack all but the last tier, and then I will center dowel it, and then I will thread the last tier down. Thanks, Sharuti. I do have classes online, so if you go to siftbykara.com, you can see my classes in my tutorial section. I'm just going to be a buttercream design on this cake. Am I self-taught? I'm a proud graduate of the YouTube University of Cake Decorating. Do you put center dowels on all your? Yes, pretty much. Are you in LA? Yes, I am in the Los Angeles area. In this case, since you have a board on the bottom, will you use both acrylic discs? No, I will use one acrylic disc. Do you add strawberry puree to the Swiss meringue? Yes, I add a strawberry cake gel to my Swiss meringue. Did you know what's in an atomic cake? I really want to know. No, I have no idea what an atomic cake is. Does anybody know what an atomic cake is? Because I don't know. I have to look. I'm looking at my iPad. Will you be adding your website to your bio? Oh, I guess I could, huh? I should do that. I'll do that. My Unique Sweets, the acrylic disc helped to keep the cake nice and perfect when you ice it. I have tutorials on it so you can see for yourself. Any other questions? Bye, Wendy. Have fun at work. Can you ask me my comments? I have no idea what you're asking. My Unique. Thanks for doing these videos often. Very fun. You're welcome. This cake is due on Friday. Yes, I have a lot of classes. I just did a class, Bitten Sweets. You can even pay for the replay. A strawberry cake is good. If asking you could see them. I'm not following My Unique Sweets. Someone asked if I use box mix. Are you asking me, do I use box mix? Okay, wait, I can't read fast enough. Do you do a class on basics? Do you make gluten? No, gluten-free. And yes, I do class on basics. I just did a class on basics. Great, is that all you? Yes, go to siftbykara.com in the tutorial section and live webinar classes. You can purchase the viewing ticket for the class I just did. It's 3 hours long. My Unique Sweets, I answered your question about the purpose of acrylic disc. Acrylic disc I use to make them perfect. I am not missing your question. I saw that question and I did answer it. Acrylic discs are used to make my cakes perfect. So if you want to know how to use them, I have tutorials on them. I just did a basics class using them. I don't give out that information for free. However, many people have done them for free on YouTube. You can always figure out how to use them for free. If you want to know how I do them, I have a tutorial on them. I would strawberry puree without the cornstarch to make the... I would say add the cornstarch so it's not runny. You're welcome, Bitten Sweets. I have tutorials free on YouTube, and I have paid tutorials in my tutorial shop on my website, which I will add to Periscope. I have to figure out how to do that to my bio. So, yes. Any other questions? That was a basics. I firmly believe that if you don't know how to properly tort, feel, and stack your cake from the ground up, you're going to run into problems later. Your cake is going to be lopsided, as someone asked. How to prevent them from being lopsided? That's how you prevent them from being lopsided. Yes, and plus my scopes are free. What other questions was it? So yes, do you still use buttercream under the strawberry if they only want puree? Char, I don't, here's the thing. You make I make from scratch. If a client comes to me and they want a decorated cake and they are like, I want a strawberry puree filling, I don't want buttercream, and I say, I'm not the baker for you. Sorry, I can't offer you that designed cake with that type of runny filling because it's just disaster for me. And your cake is not going to look pretty in the end because it's going to be sliding all over the place. It's going to be lopsided and it's not going to be sturdy. And so no. So what I can do is I can offer that puree into your buttercream and you'll get a strawberry flavored buttercream as your filling. And if you don't want that, then I'm sorry, I'm not the baker for you. Thank you for your interest. You have to set the standards, you guys. You cannot, first of all, the customer doesn't know how to do this, otherwise they wouldn't be a customer because they would be making their own cake. Okay? You're supposed to be the professional, you're supposed to be the one that knows it. If you know or you haven't tried and you're not clear is if that's going to work, if something that the customer is asking is going to work, you need to say no. Okay? Because what's going to happen is if you say yes, then you get in here and your cake is sliding all over the place and then you deliver a piss poor product, you're the one that wasted your time, you stressed yourself out, and you're going to have to give them their money back. So set your standards. If you know that a certain type of buttercream or filling is not good for a decorated, tiered, fondant, embellishments cake, then you can't offer it to the customer. And if a customer is going to be that pushy, you know you have the right to deny that order. You can't offer something. You can't go to McDonald's and ask for a Whopper with cheese. You have to go to Burger King for that. Okay? You can't go to McDonald's and ask for fried chicken. You got to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken for that. Okay? So I get tired of this question. I'm sorry if I'm a little pissy right now because I feel like bakers keep trying to please the customer on these outrageous requests, and then you guys are the ones that are stressed out, crying, hate cake, deliver a piss poor product, and you're bringing the industry down. So stop. Do it right. Learn how to do it. Learn how to do it right. And make a product that is not only delicious, but it stands. It stands. And it's not lopsided. And it doesn't look like shit. Okay, sorry. Maybe I'm a little busy. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to calm down now. Let the church choir say amen. I learned this pretty early on, and I think that has a lot to do with why my cake career has been successful faster, because I cried. I have cried over fondant. I have cried over cake. I have had cakes falling on me. I've had these things happen to me, and I got smart, and I decided to say a 2-letter word. No. No. No, I don't have recipes online. I get most of my recipes from everybody else online. So, I do have my Swiss meringue buttercream recipe on YouTube and a video on it. All right. Anything else you would like me to preach about? Because I kind of feel like I'm in a preachy mood. I just want you guys to be good. As an artist and business owner, you have to do this, otherwise clients walk all over you. Yes, Deborah. I'm sorry, don't nobody have that much money to walk all over me. Sorry. Not all orders are good orders. So, I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy having a start time and an off time with every day for my business. I also enjoy sleeping. I enjoy being able to take care of my kids and my family. I do not enjoy yelling at them to get out of my kitchen. I do not enjoy being up all night working on somebody's cake order that they didn't pay me for. I don't enjoy any of those things. So I set very clear standards for my business, and I set very clear expectations for myself and for my business, and I stick to that. And if a customer wants to be pushy with me, I can't help them. There are many bakers, and there's a lot of people out there who will do a stressful cake and put some runny filling and charge $50, and I don't get those people. I don't even understand that. So I don't do that. So I would suggest that if you are that person that you, if you find yourself stressed out, if you find yourself crying over cake, if you find yourself up all night making cakes, if you find yourself wanting to throw a cake across the room, I think you need to stop making cakes and figure out your plan first. Because cake is supposed to be fun. Cake is just my job, and I keep it that way. Rennie, I use other people's recipes that I find that work for me, so you've been there, Cake Diva? Step back, let's step back and reevaluate. What the biggest tip that I can tell you guys is mixing those runny type of flavors into your buttercream. That right there is going to eliminate so much headache for you. Stop offering. That doesn't mean if you're gonna offer a really delicious looking dessert cake that is not covered in fondant and doesn't need 3 other cakes stacked on top of it or whatever, it's just a simple dessert cake, then yeah, do all the runny filling you wanna do. But when we're talking about decorated cakes, it's very specific. It's very specific on the type of cake sponge you use. It's very specific on the type of buttercream you use, filling, type of fondant. Everything is specific, and it's specific to you. And so you have to figure out what works for you in your environment, in your temperature controlled environment, in your, if it's hot, if humid, you got to figure out what those things work for you. This is what works for me in Los Angeles, and it has been working for me. But I can't tell you, Swiss meringue might not work for you. You might not even be able to sell it because it might not be, I don't know, approved by your cottage law. You're gonna have to come up with something else. But you gotta figure out what works for you. Oh, and by the way, you know what other question I can't stand is, how does that hold up in the heat outside? It's cake, people. It's cake. It's not supposed to go outside in the sun and in the heat. You know those really pretty photo shoots with the cake outside and it looks so gorgeous? Guess what? 9 times out of 10, it was a styrofoam cake. The other 9 times out of 10, it was only out there long enough to take the damn picture and then it got moved inside, okay? Cake is not supposed to be outside in 100-degree temperature in the dead heat. Cake is not supposed to be in a room temperature of more than 80 degrees. Cake is edible. Cake is mostly butter. Cake will melt. Okay, so tell your customers cake needs to stay in a 74, 78 degree, no hotter temperature, shaded area in your house. If you're going to have it outside, please sign this that I told you it can't be outside in the heat, in the direct sunlight. You don't put ice, the ice cream stays in the freezer and you bring it out but you can't even scoop it out fast enough before it starts melting on the plate. Yes, I do deliver cakes. Yeah, table bundt cakes with no icing on it. So, I'm sorry. We're talking about decorated cakes here, okay? We're talking about specialty design, decorated cakes. This is not your typical, your mama's favorite lemon pound cake. We're not talking about those cakes. We're not talking about your typical yummy dessert cake. We're not talking about those cakes. We're talking about specialty design, tiered, decorated cakes that you spend hours decorating. This is what we're talking about. Those cakes, I don't care if it's for a wedding, for a bar mitzvah, for a birthday party, it cannot be outside. And you need to tell your customers who bring you these Pinterest pictures of these beautiful table setups of you know, cakes outside, and you can say, that's a great cake, that's a great table setup. But if you choose to keep this cake outside, I'm not liable for that cake falling over on you. So, put a fan on it. I don't know, a tent. Thank you. Okay, I think I'm done preaching now. I will do that right now as soon as I get off. Okay, guys. Probably won't be back today. Maybe I'll show you guys some things tomorrow. I don't know. I'll see what I'm doing. Yes, have a contract too. Okay, we need a different scope for all this conversation. I'm not prepared. Yes, Sudie, go to the basics class. Okay, guys, have a great day. Remember, great cake starts in the beginning. It starts from the cake board up. Don't skip that part. You want me to do a question and answer scope? Maybe I will. Next week. Bye, guys.